Hey everyone, Chris Lewis from Fox 47's Digital Newsroom. We are back again for another Rebound Mid-Michigan segment. Excited to be able to have you here to be able to talk to you about ways in which we can rebound back into normal life. Because all of us are working on this in different ways, and it's definitely not always easy, but we want to make sure that we're bringing you ideas, thoughts, things that you can do to put right into practice. And today we've got Tiffiny Griffin, who's the Vice President of Program for Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan. Tiffiny, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, it's my pleasure having you here. And I know that in these days, parents are managing more. They are having to do so much more to try to engage their kids. They're having to now teach their kids in some ways and manage the education that they have. So a couple questions that I have for you in regards to what the Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan are doing, but Girl Scouts in general are doing to be able to engage people. What are some ways that parents can keep their kids engaged in these kind of unique times?
The one important thing that parents have to remember is to take breaks. And during those breaks is to be very, very active. We all know that our physical, our mental, and our emotional well-beings are all enhanced when we get outdoors. So whether families can organize a family fun run or families a bike ride or a walk, or even do a bonfire in your backyard and talk about stories and activities of the day. Families can do, this was an Olympics year, and so families can do parents against kids type of Olympic games to get kids active outdoors. Whether it's a game of hide and seek or a game of hopscotch, teaching kids how to hopscotch, a game that even my granddaughters have no idea what that is. Even building a giant Jenga board out of plywood, in your backyard. Those are some things to get kids active. The other part, though, on some of these rainy, cold days, some indoor activities, keeping kids engaged by baking or decorating cupcakes or, doing some board games and puzzles, things like that. STEM is huge. There are a lot of STEM projects and activities that kids can do on the indoors. One that's very popular in my home is making slime, but I don't recommend putting glitter in the slime because then you'll have glitter everywhere forever. And maybe scavenger hunts in the house, but there's the key is taking breaks and being active in between school and classes and work. So being active and then definitely taking those breaks throughout the day.
Now, parents and caregivers strive to alleviate any additional stress from children as well during this time. And I know that can be difficult as well. Are there good exercises or activities or conversations that that parents can have at this time to be able to help our children to be able to manage this in a better way?
Before the pandemic, schedules were all over the place. Kids were here, parents were here, activities, after school, church. So there was a lot of things that families were involved in during that time. So the key here is to value the family time. But also during that time is maintain those connections with families. We all have text messaging. We all have Zoom meetings. We're probably all Zoomed out from having Zoom meetings. Having those opportunities to celebrate those birthdays or anniversaries or any of those other accomplishments, that is very key. Creating family celebrations, having dance parties, do an open mic night. Play charades. It's something to keep the family active. And then finally, make sure that you have those in-home spa days, teaching kids how to de-stress, introducing them to yoga or maintaining how to meditate or to journal. Those are some of those things to keep the stress levels down from both parents and kids, but also to help them to recharge from day to day. One of the amazing activities is making bubble mix and teaching kids how to breathe and blow bubbles. That's another great way to show kids how to de-stress during this time period. And having those real courageous conversations with kids about what's happening and how things will look and things like that moving forward.
Now, what are some ways that families can engage their kids to think outside of their homes and to be able to give back and to be able to help their neighborhoods or their communities, especially as we're trying to social distance?
So Girl Scout, of course, we know is the premier leadership organization for girls. So girls can take a leadership role not only in their homes, but also in their communities. And we've kind of given the girls a list of, whether you're making videos or cards for those that have been affected by COVID-19 as a goodwill, wishes, or creating cards and letters for those essential workers, um, planting gardens or flowers for our senior citizens within our communities, checking with local food banks to see if there are things that they could donate, or some communities have small pantries, collecting items for those pantries, and of course making and knitting face masks or blankets to give to senior citizens at a later time. So there are so many things that we encourage our girls and families to do during this shelter in place.
Now, if people want to find out more about Girl Scouts, where should they go?
Our website is www.gssem.org. That is our local council, or you can go to our national, which is Girl Scouts of the United States.